Okay, here's my vlog for the start of the new month, which is October 2nd. And as you can see in the UK, it's been raining, and we truly have hit autumn because now it's getting a lot darker now. We've had a lot more rain. So all those people complaining about it was too hot, well, they're probably gonna be regretting it in the next couple of weeks and months. Anyway, I haven't been up to much. Still obviously getting over the death of my cousin, still hitting hard, and obviously dealing with my own personal health issues, so it's kind of been a bit rough in terms of what's been going on. I've been trying to stream more on Twitch, and games I've been getting back into is some Killer Instinct 1, even though I'm really rusty on that. It's pretty decent on the arcades and on the SNES version of it, but that's a cut down version of the arcade version of it. Killer Instinct 2, I seem to be much better at that, really enjoying that, so I'm going to start sitting and training on Killer Instinct 2 and the original Killer Instinct, and also, I don't know if it's technically Killer Instinct 3, that's on the Xbox, so I haven't tried that out, so I will be doing that at some point. And I did promise that I would be doing Tekken 7, which I haven't done yet, with due to be released soon, Tekken 8. You've seen some of my video gameplay on the Tekken 8 from the beta. They're supposed to be doing another beta in mid-October. So for those who got given the beta earlier on, you'll be able to re-download it and then get the game back. So I don't know if they're going to be doing any changes to it in the sense of balancing up or adding other characters in it, because there was a pretty decent amount of roster on the beta, so that's going to be very interesting to play. But obviously after playing Tekken 8, which really got me into, you know, like finally starting Tekken 7 at some point. Although mine will be the vanilla version, because obviously there's been several season passes with the new characters in it, and obviously I've just got the normal version of it, so that will have to sit and do when I eventually get around to it. Also, I've been practicing Resident Evil 4, the original one, with the remaster. Obviously that when I upload it on Twitch I'll be fine, but for some bizarre reason, I had copyright claims in it in certain parts when I was just practicing it and putting some videos up on YouTube and Twitch. It's fine, but for some bizarre, funny enough, that with the Resident Evil 4 remake, when I've done little bits of here and there on the actual demo, that was totally fine for some weird reason. I was expecting to get hit the same way as that. So, but then expect that when I do play Resident Evil 4, the remaster version of it, not the remake, I'm probably going to be starting off from the game saved, because I already completed the game already, so I'm going to have completely upgraded weapons and health and etc. So I can play it from scratch if I really wanted to, because I've done it multiple times before, but I'm not going to really bother because I've done it so many times, so kind of expect to see that. So I am going to sit there and actually do that, so I'll do it in parts. I don't know how many parts it will be, because it's actually quite a big game. And then eventually I will get around to doing Resident Evil 2 remake, also Resident Evil 3 remake, and obviously Resident Evil 4 remake, and also I need to also do as well Resident Evil 8 Village and some of the DLC content that was on Resident Evil 7, where you play as Chris, who looks completely different now in Resident Evil Village. But anyway, so you've got a lot to look forward to in that. I've been playing Gran Turismo Sport. Again, I'm starting to play the tracks on professional mode and actually beating them, which I could never do before. Must be improving, but I'm driving via the dashboard view rather than seeing the whole car. Well, the only issues I have with that game is the rubber banding with the computer AI actually cheating rather than it beating me with actual skill. And some of it is to do with depending on which car you pick for a certain track, that will allow you to kind of win. But it's frustrating, but you know, I'm getting there. Again, I might consider doing some 1 or 2 gameplay on that at some point, but you know, maybe just record it straight to YouTube. But obviously gonna have to cut out the actual music because it's got licensed music in there, and eventually at some point I do want to play Gran Turismo 7. Although as I said earlier on that I've had issues with the AI, I really do enjoy the franchise. Although for me it was at its pomp on with the first and second one on the PlayStation 1. But I've still enjoyed the franchise overall. With Game Pass, obviously, I said before, I've got 2 1-month codes, and then I was going to sit there and use it to play Starfield. But then I said I was delaying it because I was going to play FC24, because obviously if you get the Game Pass Ultimate, you get for a month, and you can do a trial, 1 month trial. Obviously you can do a 10-hour trial of FC24, but on the PlayStation 5 with the EA plays for a month, well, the deal's run out next, ran out on the 29th, where it kind of allows you to where you can get the EA play for a month. Obviously, as long as if you turn off the reoccurring bill, you just get it for a month rather than pay the $3.99. And I've been playing FC24, or formerly known as the FIFA games, and been enjoying that. You can, but for me, the leap from FIFA 23 to FIFA 24, it feels more of an update. You can, the only thing I can say about it is in the sense of that the team I'm playing as Tottenham, the characters look, now most of the players look a lot more like their counterparts, because obviously big players like when Harry Kane was there, obviously he's not now, and people like Son, who's the ambassador on the FIFA FC 24 games, obviously it has to look like him, but certain other players did not look like them. They're not so superstar players, and they've pretty much got the players spot on, except for Solomon, who looks nothing like his real life counterpart. He just looked like a generic player. And as I thought, it's much harder to develop slow. I will do a video on that, on my initial thoughts of it, because I don't think I'm going to be able to play the modes. When I was currently playing it, I had like 8 hours and 40 minutes left before the trial actually ran out. But yeah, I'm going to try and do as much gameplay as I can. And as I said before, what I was saying about the Game Pass, why I didn't get it, I'm delaying it slightly, because what I'm going to do is, obviously Forza Motorsport 7 is coming out this month. I think it's the 10th of October. So what I will do is I would activate one of my Game Pass month Ultimate codes. That will then allow me to play Starfield and some Forza Motorsport, and then it probably will allow me to use another 10 hours trial of FIFA FC, but this time on the Series X, because that's what I did last time, and it actually worked. So that's what I would do. So I kind of expect to see Rolls of our promised it last month, but obviously things can change. Nothing's set in stone, so I'll expect to see Vol's games being played. So I feel I'm not going to pretend to say I'm going to be really good at Starfield, or I'll do a completion of the game. I'll probably do some of it and then see what I feel of it. Obviously for Forza Motorsport 7, because I really loved Forza Motorsport 6, and that's one of the things I do like about Game Pass and with Microsoft, where they put their first party games on Game Pass. So you know, it's kind of great, especially if you've already got a code and you've already got a long-term subscription to it, so you can play these games if you can't really afford to buy them. It's kind of great. You've already got games like Assassin's Creed Mirage coming out, and I'm liking the look of that. Maybe I might get it for Christmas at some point. I'm liking the fact that it's going back to the familiar the way it looks and plays of Assassin's Creed 1 and 2. Now, don't get me wrong, the latter ones with Odyssey and Origins and Valhalla, they do graphically look good, but it feels more like an RPG in that. And I kind of miss of how the old Assassin's Creed look like. I'm probably gonna have to, for the time being, look at other YouTubers and the way they play the game until I can afford to get it. Also, you already got Mortal Kombat 1, which I would love to sit there and get. I still don't have a Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate Edition. I ended up finding out that even if you buy the game second hand, to get all the other DLC characters that they released when the game was out, they put it on a code, not on the disc. So it means you don't have to buy the game brand new. Whereas Ultimate editions of or the complete edition of the game, the Mortal Kombat games they used to do in the past, they actually used to put it on the actual disc. So it's a shame. I have to do more research into that if that's the case, but I think that is the case. So yeah, I've collected a couple of more DVDs. They're mostly shows from the 60s and 70s that I grew up watching. Got to unbox those. I've got some other video game unboxes that I've done. Some of them from a year ago, and I haven't done them yet. Like the Hitman Definitive Edition. I did that ages ago before I started speaking, and I only started speaking because people asked me to do it. So if I do upload some videos that's not speaking it, please, I apologize for that. It's probably more to do with the fact that it's an old video that I've forgotten to upload. There's even videos that I did from a couple of Christmases ago and I haven't done them, and there's even some items I still need to do videos on, which I haven't got around to doing because, you know, life catches up with you and stuff. So it's most things like statues and books and stuff. You've already seen my review of Dungeons and Dragons Among Thieves, so expect to see some other ones, because there's quite there. I think what's recently premiered on Sky is the movie called 65, so I will come around to watching that. And I think I got given Teen Titans Gold, the movie, so maybe I might do that. Although I don't really watch the series, but I know enough about the Teen Titans, so I'll see that. I've just finished off watching up the Magnum Season 5 Part 1. It was the first 10 episodes, and obviously the next 10 episodes of the Season 5 will air. Obviously in the UK we have to wait a lot longer. Really enjoyed the finale, and you know, it's kind of really heartbreaking what happened to TC, so we'll see what happens there. The Quantum Leap Season 1 revival series, also it's a continuation of from the 90s Quantum Leap show. I didn't think I would enjoy it, because especially with the classic series prior to that. Really enjoyed that. The season finale of that was really great. Obviously it's already been renewed for Season 2, and in America I think Season 2 starts on October the 4th. In the UK we're going to have to wait, as usual, we're going to have to wait a lot longer. So yeah, I really highly recommend those two shows. You got that Star Wars series. I think the final part is this week, and obviously you got Loki Season 2 starting I think this week, or in a week, maybe in a week's time we're starting this week. So there's that to look forward to. Yeah, so I look forward to seeing maybe we'll start doing a lot more movie fact videos, some showing you a lot more of my Blu-ray steelbook collection, maybe some reviews of some classic movies that I've liked, so that will put in part of my childhood. So I expect to see that. It takes a lot of time to do that. And obviously Apple have been releasing some of their new products for this year, so I might get one or two of them. Who knew? I think my brother might as well, so if he does, then hopefully he might be allowing me, you know, like things like the new iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max. I think he's meant to be getting the iPhone 15 Pro Max, so if he does, and then with what he did with the 12 Pro Max, he allowed me to unbox that. Look forward to that. That's when he gets it, of course. I'm not going to pressure him. And I was thinking of getting, I eventually wanted to get the iWatch Series 9. It's a little treat for myself. So at some point I might try and get it, either before or after Christmas. So I might try and do that. I'm really looking forward to that, because I've been, you know, I'm actually looking more for that to, you know, to eventually getting a new phone at some point. So again, there's a lot of things that I've got planned. There's some personal things in my life that I'm swinging into motion. Some of it involves studying, but not what you think. And if it does pay off, then I will kind of be obviously making an announcement on that when it does pay off. But it probably won't. The fruits of the labour probably won't be until sometime next year. Hope, fingers crossed, if it all pays off. And one final thing I wanted to kind of, go on upon, especially on this vlog, is obviously we've heard about obviously the Tottenham Liverpool game, and obviously being a Tottenham fan, probably people are going to think you're biased. Now, I've always had issues with VR. Because I thought it coming in would help the referees in getting decisions right, because especially with teams being hard done by, especially smaller teams who need every point they can get to stay up. And you know, and there's a lot of it. Obviously, it's still in its teething stage and getting it right. But now, obviously Tottenham won, and then obviously now you get the Liverpool fans getting irate. Some sitting there and saying obviously they want a replay. Jota's wife saying that it's been rigged, which doesn't make sense, because why would you just sit there and pick just that one game, unless you were doing it for betting? Doesn't kind of make sense. And for example, if it was being paid and rigged for Tottenham to win, Tottenham haven't won anything in years, so you would have to sit there and do it in virtually every single game. and I just think it's utterly ridiculous. Destiny Ndogo was actually receiving racist abuse from some Liverpool fans. Again, the media not covering this also as well, which is kind of very disgusting. We had yesterday Brentford versus Nottingham Forest. VAR again affecting that game. Again, nobody was talking about it and I think it's mainly to do with the fact that Nottingham Forest and obviously back in the day, Nottingham Forest and their pomp back in the 80s were a big side. But obviously when you compare them to the Manchester Uniteds, Man Cities and Liverpools and Chelsea's now, and Arsenal's now, they're not big. So that's why they're not even getting the same kind of highlighted in how it's not going against them. And what's really I find funny with commentators like Jamie Carragher, Jamie Redknapp, who by ex-Liverpool fans, is they're not going on. It's funny how Liverpool are weighing up the options and guided about the integrity of football. Where was the integrity when Wolves played against Manchester United and the Manchester United keeper brought down one of the Wolves players and it was a clear penalty, and then it wasn't awarded. Although it still would have, even if it was awarded, it still would have been down to the Wolves player to take the so-called penalty and whether him to miss or the goalkeeper to save it. And then Manchester United ended up winning it, and the whistle was blown straight after that. No, there's no uproar about that. And I was talking to a friend of mine who was a Wolves fan, and he's probably watching. I know he watches my videos, and he was saying that he was upset about it, and we know that VAR needs to be fixed and corrected. And if the officials get it wrong, that could be punished, and again VAR has to be corrected and fixed. But he was saying to me that that they got upset, but at the end of the day, they just moved on to the next match and hoped up with the fact that things would go their way and VAR will be fixed. He didn't sit there and see them, getting upset about it, and I commend them because they didn't get the same recognition. And it's really funny that when that game was played on Sky Sports, Gary Neville, who played for Manchester United, said it should have been a penalty. This female ex-footballer, I don't know who she plays for, I don't know her name, said it was a penalty. And then Jamie Carragher, surprise, didn't see, couldn't sit there and couldn't say whether it was a penalty or not. And you would think the fact that they're in the studio with multiple monitors, being able to have access to different camera angles and replays at their fingertips, and he clearly didn't see that, but yet he only seems to be bothered when it's Liverpool. And I'm sick and tired of it seems to be that everything is against Liverpool Football Club, where every single football team in the Premiership has either had VAR gone against them or they've benefited it from them. So I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And to people, especially Jota's, who plays for Liverpool, his wife, to say it's rigged. To me, if I was the Football Association or from Tottenham or they should be sued. And it's ridiculous for some of the fans being bitter and saying, "Oh, the match should be replayed." So every time a team doesn't get things done right, so what? They should have the game. Every single team should have their match replayed. Should Wolves have their match replayed because they weren't awarded a penalty? Should Tottenham have the Champions League? We had Champions League in 2019, I think it was. Because correct me if I got the year wrong. Where we got to the final, and then they changed the rules of the handball, and then switched, gave the opportunity for Liverpool to score, and they changed the rules for them. Should we be allowed to sit there and have those rules changed? Or when we played Liverpool last year, where Jota did the dangerous tackle with his boot to Oliver Skipp's head, and then Ryan Mason got upset about it, quite rightfully so, and then Klopp was basically saying, and I'm paraphrasing, that Mason should sit there and then forget about it and move on. When you can see why Mason was upset about it, because he got hit in the head with studs and he had to have an operation on his head which ended his career. So you could sit there and see, quite rightfully so, why he was upset about it, and then Klopp didn't kind of want to know about that. And that is not just about a Tottenham thing, that could affect any football player, where it could ruin their career, whether it's a head injury or a permanent leg break. The same player who did that should have been sent off and then ended up scoring that winning goal, which allowed Liverpool to win. Again, as I said before, I'm not necessarily a big fan of VAR because it's slowing down the game for me, in my personal opinion. But every team's have as of all it swings and roundabouts. And it's funny that most of the time with VR, if you actually look at the statistics of when they've been awarded, it usually goes to the bigger teams, not the smaller teams anyway. So absolutely kind of ridiculous. And it's like every time Tottenham actually do well, which people didn't expect, because people Tottenham haven't gone out in a big spending spree like Chelsea, or having a big world-class manager, and now we're actually playing some good football compared to the defensive football that we had under Conte and Mourinho. That we actually play some good football. And again, as I said before, I'm still taking it one game at a time. It's still early days yet, so there's still a lot to play for. So yeah, it's kind of really disgusting, and in this kind of behaviour where these fans are behaving. And as I said before, Destiny and Ndiaye receiving vile racist abuse. Some Liverpool fans, not all. I think it's the minority of Liverpool fans doing this, and none of the organisations like BBC Sport, Sky Sports, TNT, or if it's BT Sport, ex-football players like Gary Neville and Jamie Redknapp and Jamie Carragher, not calling this out and highlighting this, that regardless of what's happened, it's human error, and players shouldn't, any colour player, whether it's colour or their religion, should not be subjected to vile abuse. Nobody kind of deserves it, even if you don't like somebody. I mean, I would never do that. So anyway, that's the end of my vlog for 2000 for October 2023. So I'll see you again in 4 weeks.